Hey everybody, welcome to day 20. We're almost there.
Thanks for sticking around.
Thanks for sticking around today. We're going to talk about presentation.
No, nothing. Okay. All right. Today we're going to talk about presenting in hopes that you guys will get together a tea party
And start, because we're going to a dentist.
Yep. And get together a tea party so that you guys can practice your skills.
Who are you talking to?
Okay. Hold on. Come on. Come here.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
Come here.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
My friends.
No, it's not on there.
Yeah? Tell me when it turns on, press the play button.
No,
What? Press play.
No, look, I don't see any of your friends.
That's okay, you don't have to see them. There. All right, so we're going to get these tea parties going. I want you guys to schedule one. Sorry, I look a mess. And apologize because I have fallen off a little bit this week because my life has been crazy. No excuses, though. I've been keeping consistent with my posting and my personal things that I have to do daily, but I haven't been as good with checking in with the group and making sure that you guys' stuff is graded or whatever you want to call it. But as network marketers, we often have important information that we have to share. That's part of what we do, sharing information, collecting answers. So learning how to do it is very important. So most people in multi-level marketing or network marketing, they're not trained presenters or salespeople, but there's always a few steps everyone can take to make sure their message has the best possible chance of being received well. I'm going to give you guys 10 tips. The first one is to know your audience, okay? Not every pitch will work for everyone. So before you go to present the products or the business, whether it's just to tell one person, just a one-on-one or a group of people or at a tea party or at a soccer game, do a little research to ensure you're presenting at the appropriate level. If your presentation is too light, you'll bore them. But if it's too in-depth, you're going to confuse them. So either way, they'll switch off and those vital words that you're sharing are going to fall on deaf ears. They're going to stop listening to you. So just make sure you know your audience. And I like to be always perceived at the same level as my audience. So if I'm at the gym, I need to be in gym clothes and talking gym lingo. You want to dress like you think that the people are going to be dressed. If you're going to a soccer game, and you have a minivan, drive that instead of your Corvette. You want to be seen like other people. So what are the challenges faced by this person or this group of people? You want to analyze your audience and figure out a problem that you're trying to solve. How does your business opportunity or your product solve their problems? You want to focus on answering these questions rather than trotting out, every little detail of what you're offering. Your audience must feel like you've prepared your presentation specifically for them, okay? Even if it's essentially the same one you're giving all the time, you can use certain keywords, certain language, certain lingo to make sure that it tailors directly towards them and makes them feel special. Continually learn and practice presenting. I do it to my kids. I make them sit down and they say you don't really understand and know how to teach something until you can teach it to a child. So continuously practice. One of the most important skills any network marketer can hone is that of becoming an accomplished speaker. And I think we all... Yeah, give me just a second. It impacts so many other areas of your life as it massively increases your self-confidence as well. It may suck when you first start doing it. No one likes getting up in front of the class. Thank you. The more professionally you can deliver your message, the more readily it's going to be received. So the more lives you're going to touch, the more money you're going to make in your business. Learning to present well is an investment in yourself. So beyond network marketing, I like to think that this is never a waste of time because the skills that I'm learning and fine-tuning are important for anything that we choose to do. So it's an investment in yourself and can give you, the greatest ROI, return on investment, on the capital you've invested. Handling dissenters well. You're always going to have that one person or those few people who are going to be against you. And one of the major fears I hear in network marketing is that of being faced with, people that are doubtful or, negative or dispute what you're being told. Unfortunately, the tendency is to dig in and fight your corner. You stick up for yourselves and you make them, feel wrong. But this can turn the discussion into an argument. It's going to work against you. If there's negative vibes in the air, everybody's going to be feeling negative, and that's all they're going to remember, especially if you're giving a presentation in front of a group. So when you're faced with negativity, always start your answer with, "That's a very good question," and continue with your viewpoint. So wherever possible, turn things around to make your audience right. You can download different, ways to combat it if you want to. It's called a one-sheet crib sheet, and you can download that and it'll teach you different ways to go against your audience, but do it respectively by correcting them. Show, do not tell. Show the products that you're talking about. So don't just, point it out or just tell the name of it. People like to involve their senses. So let them smell, see, touch, instead of just hearing what they are like. If you're making a presentation about the business opportunity, remember your company has probably done a lot to make things easier for you. So we have different marketing materials, different presentations, slideshows, pamphlets. Make sure you get the prospecting materials that they offer and show pictures, of the top distributors. Use the Momentum magazine, relate people to those stories and talk about them as if they're real people, because they are. Let your guard down. People buy, people do business with people, and people buy stuff from those that they know, like, and trust. So how can they do any of this if you won't let them get to know the real you? You don't have to be perfect. You can talk about your own challenges, your beliefs, your family, your hopes, your dreams. Anything that you share is going to give you one step up and be one step closer to overlapping some level of interest with them. So doing so gives your prospects more opportunity to identify with you so that they can use these similarities to build rapport. Stories instead of facts. Facts tell, stories sell. We've been talking about it. When we get excited about our products, we often delve into the features of our products. So we talk about all the facts, the numbers, the figures, and what works and why. And it's very exciting once you've had your first wonderful product experience, but it doesn't make for a very exciting lead into your presentation. So if you bore people with a whole bunch of facts as opposed to, a funny story or this, that, or the other, it's going to change. People want to know about results. They want to know the bottom line. They want to know how it's affected you. They want you to tap into their emotions. So there's plenty of time to get in the detail later. But, to start off with 26, health benefits and 72 minerals and 19 amino acids could send most of your prospects to sleep. So apart from, the professors in the audience, of course, but the best way to illustrate what your products or business opportunity can do is telling stories. So use your own story, create a story with every single product, or a case study of someone else that you've seen online. Use emotional words, not just telling the facts. You want to evoke the feelings too. Number 8, make them laugh. When people laugh, they feel more relaxed and much more open. So every situation has a humorous side. And if you're telling a tragic story, take it out of your mouth.
Hey guys! My name is Emily.
If you're telling a tragic story, come here, bring it over here, Olivia. If you're telling a tragic story, your prospects are going to welcome, the bad feelings. The golden rule is to move people, make them laugh, make them cry, then, you make them buy. Something I aim to do in every presentation because it means I've moved my audience emotionally. And if you can move them to do something, then you can move them to buy and move them to do whatever you want to do. So I appreciate this is an advanced technique, but if you learn how to do it, you'll increase your success rate a lot. So number 9, don't ask, tell. Instead of telling, your prospects everything, get them answering questions. Rather than saying, did you know that only 1% of people retire financially free? Ask them, what percentage of people do you think retire financially free? You want to get them involved with what you're doing. And this is going to get them, if you word your questions correctly, you're coaching them, to the purchase decision. You're making it their idea rather than having them push them into buying, because remember, we hate, being sold, but we love buying stuff. This technique, also needs to be perfected, but it works great for network marketers and women. We call it pull selling. Number 10, give them a reason to act now. Again, we don't want to be salespersons, but many network marketers give a great presentation and then wimp out without asking for the order or the money. So your prospect's motivation will never be higher than it is at the moment, right when it happens, before they, are able to process the thought and think about all the cons of it. So make sure you use this to your advantage. Think of reasons why they should place their order today. Some possible reasons might be because you're offering a special bonus, you're giving a free workout along with it, or your prices are about to increase, or use the word sale, limited time only, some type of inclusion, or there's an order deadline coming up, so they'll get all their goods sooner, or, you're placing an order the same day, so save on the postage. You're offering a discount on orders placed today, or you're seeing someone else who could become a distributor and you'll go beneath them. Whatever works, tell them it's, secure the sale and do it now. So these are a few tips that I have for presenting, and hopefully this will help you with your tea parties. But you want to schedule these in-person tea parties. I had you do the virtual grand opening first because you have the option to reach out to many more people at one time, and it doesn't give you, a geographic radius that you have to stay within. Anybody can get on. The amount of people is unlimited, and you can do it all right from your living room for free. So the virtual grand opening is definitely better, but some people like to come, be in, your home, feel a little closer to you, get their hands on the products, try them. So I recommend doing a tea party. And when you do a tea party, you want to have the instant gratification products. So you want to have NutriBurst for them to do a shot. You want to have NRG, and you want to pick one person out that looks tired, have them do an energy shot with NutriBurst, so they can give a testimony by the end of the presentation.
Mommy?
Yes?
What is that?
Some other good ones are emu oils, so they can, if you print out the 50 benefits of it, you can have people try it on to feel the texture of it. The tea, of course, you want to have them not just give them a sample. You want to give them 8 full fluid ounces. I like to give them 2 cups if I can. Excuse me, I'm doing something. So those are my favorite products that I like to have. You can also do the coffee too. These are my friends. So those are some good products to have on hand. Some tips are when I come, excuse me, when I have people come to my house, I like to do door prizes. So I do one for the person who gets there, the first 2 people to get there. And then I have also a prize for the people who brings the most friends with them. If you keep talking, you don't get any more cereal. Okay, maybe you should be quiet then. So those are a few tips. Sometimes I have people fill out a little note card on their way in to jog their memory about, yes, Emily. Yes, if you leave me alone for a second so I can finish, please. I like to give people a note card and write their answers to a few questions on there so that they can jog their memory and know, dig into their wants and needs before I start presenting. I ask them, what's the last weight that you were happiest with your body? What do you weigh now? If you could change one thing about your health, what would it be? And then I have questionnaires that are kind of just related to the products in general, so different things that they offer. So you can do that. And then those are good ways. You always want to start off with your why and your business story and your that we developed. Emily, cut it out. I'm gonna kill myself. So those are good ways. Make sure that you're getting people trying the products. Make sure that you make it fun. When it gets to the SEX part, about Strike Up in Love, make sure you tell funny stories about these things. Get people laughing. Candace Bird Davis does a really good job of this. So make sure that you watch some of her presentations about the actual products. And remember that everybody doesn't go over every single product that we have to offer. They go over their favorites. So keep that in mind because you don't want to keep people too long. and you want to go through the business opportunity. I tend to go through it a little fast, and then I say, if anybody's actually interested in the business side of things, to make sure that they meet me afterwards to discuss it more in detail so you don't bore everybody. Make sure that you have order forms right on hand or an iPad. Print out before and after pictures that people can actually see what's going on. Those are my tips for a tea party. Remember that in order to get people to come and to confirm they're coming, always ask them to bring something. So I like to ask people to bring a bag of ice because it's very cheap, and if they feel like they're counting on being counted on for something, then they'll probably show up. And you can never have too many bags of ice. Just set it out on the porch or put it in the sink and keep it moving. So those are my tips for a tea party. I definitely recommend you scheduling one. I would love to come out. I operate on a I do, we do, you do basis. So I will be there for your first 3 tea parties. The first one, I'm going to do it for you. The second one, we're going to do it. So you'll pick one part of the presentation. So most likely the opening and the products. And then I'll do the business overview. And then the third one is going to be you.
Mommy, Daddy.
Yes, thank you. The third one is going to be you doing it by yourself, and I'll be there to support you. So I definitely recommend scheduling a tea party. I know that Nicole's already reached out to me to schedule one coming up. So make sure that you schedule one and put it on a calendar for your supporters to come out. Everybody else in the group should come out and be a person. But remember, you guys, the main goal is to get people there, because you having a tea party, doing an amazing setup, all of that doesn't mean anything unless you have the guests there to hear it, because those are the people that you want to purchase the products from. Those are the people that you want to join your business. So you have to get the people. That's the main part of it. So this is a little bit about tea parties. For some homework, why don't you research a tea party on YouTube and recreate it, make a video of it, and get comfortable talking about the products and seeing how you look when you talk, and then listening to yourself and critiquing it, and share it with your accountability partner. Also, for your personal development, look up either Stormy Wellington Tea Party or Candace Bird Davis Tea Party. They do really good presentations that get people laughing and involved, and they're very down to earth. So that's your homework for today. I hope everybody's having a good day. All righty, bye.